How we doing? How we doing, everybody? All right, so today I wanted to talk about AI because a lot of people are freaking out about it. And I just saw an episode of Joe Rogan with Christos Stephanopoulos. I forget his last name, but a funny guy. And he raised a pretty good point that I didn't know about as well with AI, that maybe you guys don't know about either. But he was saying that the reason that a lot of this crime has been happening and that in these cities they're just letting it slide is because they want it to happen so the people eventually come clamoring to them to do something about it, whatever it takes, and then the powers that be, people with money, can bring in their system. Robots, AI, cameras, security, all that kind of stuff. All that jazz. And it is a pretty good point. The people in power, the people with money, the people invested, the owners of those, they're going to be the ones in control that can sway the new system. Pretty scary thought. But on top of all that, you have all the other regular fears. You have, is it going to turn out to be like Terminator? Is it going to be, I'm sure you've heard it all before. What's the worst case scenario? And it can get pretty bad. Boom. So, I want to look on the bright side though, because I think, as bad as some of those possibilities are, the good outweighs the bad, you know? And as long as we keep those things in check, make the most of it. So, in yesterday's episode, we're talking about the Bad Batch and how Disney just, they do not know how to handle what they're doing. They just, it really is that simple. They mishandled the characters, the story, and it's really divided the fan base. I think we can all agree on that. And the mistreatment of older characters that people grew up with. So, this is where the AI part comes in. You'll see a lot of fans, well, a good amount of people, do this. Seeing a lot of people creating their own animations, which is awesome. Because if you're not happy with the stuff these IP owners are putting out, you do something better yourself. If you think you can do something better, and you take a swing at it, and I love to see it because there are a lot of good animators out there making some really good stuff. Little cutscenes, little animations, really, really awesome. So, here's where the AI part comes in. How many other people do you think have great ideas? Great story ideas, great character ideas, whether they be, a fully fleshed out story or just little tidbits, but an idea is still an idea. And how many of these people aren't familiar with, animation or, putting a pen to paper to really flesh things out? And this is where the AI part comes in. Is with the better AI coming out, helping people discover their creative side. And I know what a lot of people are going to say is it's kind of contradictory of what do you mean creative side? You have AI, but it's a tool. And I should have done that. Using that tool, hopefully it will create more content. And with more content, if it is better stories, if it is better visuals, if it is better creations, then what these people who own the properties that are mismanaging it, if it gets on the market, well, I shouldn't say on the market because then it would be, it's their properties, but if it's out there on display for people, as a side hobby. And more people, yikes, that went fast. More and more people can see, hey, these fans are creating something so much more better, so much more fleshed out, so much more connected to the audience. Whether it's, remastering something or creating something entirely new. I think the majority of us would say, hey, we want remasters of what has been. For instance, Republic Commander because of Bad Batch. I think it's insane that Disney, you look at all the entire game library of LucasArts and now that Disney owns it, and you're telling me all you've done is what, Battlefront 2, and now this Battlefront Classic re-release, which was a complete disaster. It is not good. The direction and their handling of it. Now, I will say, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, great. Could use a little work here and there, but overall, good reception, I would say. And that's what the sad part is because you look at what was and what could have been. For instance, the big one with me, Star Wars 1313. It's kind of like what Fallen Order and Survivor were supposed to be, but, Boba Fett, open world, like GTA-ish kind of. But yes. And the feedback, and Disney's still not getting the idea, hey, this is what fans want. This is what they want to see. Battlefront, the other issue, you didn't need to do Battlefront and then Battlefront 2. You should have done Battlefront 3. The KOTORs, what's going on with that? And if their issue is money, then hopefully the AI will make it easier. AI for making backgrounds, the assets. But here is where my idea comes in. Here's a Star Wars Clone Wars game from 2005, 2006. Imagine if we had a really decent AI setup where you could talk to this thing like it was Jarvis from Iron Man. I know some of you are going to say, okay, that's kind of scary, but imagine that's how you can communicate with this thing. To your computer, hey, take this video from this game, this cutscene from 2005. I want you to take this video and do your magic on it with the assets and graphics from the most recent EA Battlefront 1 and 2. Use those assets, use those graphics, and recreate these cutscenes. Or better yet, recreate this game. And it's phenomenal what fans can do, because fans do this with the old Battlefront where they put in the asset. It's phenomenal. But it takes so much work and effort, which is, hey, putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something that's great. But how much money are they getting for it? Whether these companies are scooping these guys up, which you would hope so, but then at the same time, now they're under the direction of the companies that aren't taking the properties in the right direction. They're at their beck and call. It's very frustrating, but it is good to see fans being able to do this. But if AI will make it easier for them, and it opens the gates for other people who aren't familiar with animation, aren't familiar with the programs, aren't familiar with computers, I think that's going to flood the market with it's going to open up so many doors. And it's going to force a change. It's going to force a change of, hey, these people, these fans, these nobodies, I mean, some of them, but they're putting out better stuff. They're getting more views than our programs, our TV shows. And they speak to dollars, these companies, and they're going to have to change. And if that's what it takes, then it is what it is. But that's why I'm saying, if you have this AI that can just, the things most fans want, a remaster of their older games. That way they can re-enjoy them. That way their kids can enjoy them. They can show it to other people and say, hey, this is what you're missing out if you've never played this game back in the day. And here it is revamped. You wonder why these companies aren't jumping at the opportunity. You know, like how Nintendo doesn't really, but it's frustrating to see them just completely squander the opportunities.
What are we waiting for?
But you look at these animations and you think, okay, how hard could that be? It's all fleshed out here, and then you have the newer games, the newer graphics, newer assets. You would think it's got to be a piece of cake for the AI.
What are they doing here? There's nothing important in this sector.
And it just, the possibilities are limitless, not just for video games, but creating your own story, your own movies, which you've been seeing more and more of. You know, like I've been seeing more of these 1950s style AI, edits, but it's very rough. You know, it's not like a fully fleshed out movie or film. But again, AI is still kind of new. And the better it gets, hopefully this is one of the possibilities with it. One, to open the door for more people to get creative and encourage them to, hey, the stuff I'm seeing out there now, I'm not liking. I think I can do it better. I want to throw my hat in the ring. And then the issue is going to be, well, aren't these big companies going to come at you for messing with their stuff? And I think that's only going to happen if you're trying to profit off of it with their IP. But if you're just doing it as a side project, it's like, hey, this is just a thing I did in my free time. It's free for everyone to watch. And as long as people keep that perspective of, hey, put in the good work now, and things will sort itself out later. The money, if you're worried about the money will come later. Because people will see, hey, this person cares. They have a good idea of what they want to see and do with this. They're taking it in a good direction. We want to pick this person up. They got good ideas. We want to hop on it. The good things will come in time. But if you see people getting selfish and say, oh no, we're going to try and make money off it, of course it's going to be an uphill battle. But again, it's for an AI to do this, it's got to be a piece of cake. It would be, you would have to think so. And it's just, it's so frustrating that it's right there. It's right in front of us. And these companies just squander it. And fans have to pick up the slack for them. And I'm glad to see some of these, like, these videos are, these animations, like, you really got to hand it to these guys. But like 1.8 million views on this. This is wild. But the more hits and traction it gets, they're getting calls and emails from the companies. But again, they're doing it for the love of it. They're not doing it to try and profit off of somebody else's property. So I think if more and more people are able to flood content, these companies aren't going to have a choice. One, because legally, they're going to get bogged down. They're going to get swamped. It's going to be crazy. But you look at all these old classic games, and some of them you can't even get on Steam and that's the other tragedy is, like, how many physical copies of the whole debate of physical copies versus digital copies. And then the companies, these digital copies saying, oh, well, now you have to upgrade, or you don't really own it. Whereas if you have the AI to do this, it could be, yo, I can just tell the AI and boom. Like it's gonna change everything, and it's you hope it's for the better that these companies can't keep getting away with the scumbaggery that they've been doing. And in the hands of creative people like this, it's gonna be such a resurgence for gaming. I mean, the future is just so bright. As long as the AI doesn't get manipulated by the big companies, big money. So luckily you have people like Elon, and for whatever bad people out there that will try to manipulate the AI, he's going to have an honest version of it with this whole. Well, I mean, Gronk is kind of, but I don't know. I think the future is bright though. More and more people need to get on this, and it's just you can't wait to see more and more creativity pop up and more people get inspired to be the change, to make the change. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys want to see. I mean, like I have a preference for like Star Wars, Clone Wars stuff, but like the Halo remaster, which was like the anniversary, was just like, what did you guys do with this? The AI, it could make it phenomenal. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys later. Clear skies.